This is WFYI News Now. It's October 24th, and I'm Abriana Herron. Coming up, about 1,400 Indiana children attend publicly funded, segregated schools for students with disabilities. A WFYI investigation found that's a problem.
When we talked with experts, what they said essentially was that segregated schools for students with disabilities shouldn't even exist.
But first, these headlines. The candidates in the race for Indianapolis mayor met for their first televised debate Monday night. WFYI's Jill Sheridan reports the event was the first of two debates scheduled for this week.
Candidates had a time limit and were able to offer rebuttals. The night started out with questions about public safety in Indianapolis. The question of downtown safety came first for Mayor Joe Hogsett.
We have a safe downtown, and generally speaking, we have a safe city. Now, the truth is we have a problem with guns.
Republican challenger Jefferson Shreve says he hears from many Marion County residents who don't feel safe.
Perception is reality, but that perception is evidenced in the reality of too much crime, whether it be petty crime, violent crime in our urban core.
Both candidates also agreed that affordable housing hinges on more housing supply. The disparity in the health and wellness for Marion County residents was also discussed. Both candidates said the city has to do better. Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. For WFYI News, I'm Jill Sheridan.
The candidates recently reported their donations to the Marion County Board of Elections in a campaign worth close to $20.7 million and counting. Shreve reported over double the amount of money Hogsett did. Shreve also funded 93% of his own campaign, with most of it marked as a candidate loan. However, Hogsett had more individual donors. Indiana will be eligible for tens of millions of dollars in federal funding to help advance biotechnology development. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith reports the state was named one of the 31 regional tech hubs across the country under the Federal CHIPS and Science Act.
U.S. Senator Todd Young, who helped create the CHIPS Act, calls Monday's announcement a major win for Hoosiers. The Tech Hub designation was awarded to Heartland Bioworks, an Indiana group led by the Applied Research Institute. Its partners include industry leaders such as Eli Lilly, Cook Medical, and Roche, higher education institutions such as Purdue, Notre Dame, Ivy Tech Community College, and Indiana University, economic development organizations, labor unions, and the cities of Fishers and Indianapolis. The designation now makes Indiana eligible to compete for up to $75 million in grants later this year to help further develop medical and biotechnology. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
Purdue University is researching how toxic PFAS could affect aquatic life in the most contaminated areas. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Rebecca Thiel reports, unlike many studies, Purdue looked at how multiple PFAS chemicals interact to mimic what frogs and other water dwellers might experience in the real world.
Purdue researchers looked at a mixture of 5 different PFAS to imitate what it would be like for aquatic life living next to something like an airport or a military base, which historically used toxic firefighting foams. They found the chemicals stunted the growth of northern leopard frog tadpoles. Maria Sepulveda is a professor of ecotoxicology at Purdue. She says researchers were surprised to find that newer PFAS chemicals, meant to replace those that build up in animals' bodies, were just as toxic when they were exposed continuously over time.
So they don't bioaccumulate, we know that. That doesn't mean that they're non-toxic.
Purdue researchers say we need more studies that look at multiple PFAS exposures at once. But they're difficult to do, partly because PFAS can be found in so many sources, even in lab equipment. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Rebecca Thiel.
And finally, about 1,400 Indiana children attend publicly funded, segregated schools for students with disabilities. But a WFYI investigation found that most experts say those schools should not exist. WFYI's Darian Benson spoke with reporter Dylan Pierce McCoy about the investigation and how she found the family at the heart of it, and their son Christian.
This investigation found most experts on educating students with extensive support needs say it is harmful to isolate children with disabilities away from the rest of the student population. But these schools still exist in Indiana and across the country. What led you to investigate this?
It was really a response to what my reporting partner Lee Gaines and I heard from parents and experts. when we were covering the shortage of special education teachers and assistants. Last year, a segregated school in Porter County was so short-staffed that the special education system that runs it forced teachers from other schools to transfer there. But some parents we spoke to had concerns about the school even before that.
And is that where Christian goes to school?
Yeah, we talked to many families with children with disabilities, including Joe and Stephanie Cooper. Their son Christian has autism, and his parents say their only real educational option is to send him to a segregated school they believe is failing him. When we talked with experts, we found they agreed. What they said essentially was that segregated schools for students with disabilities, schools like the one Christian attends, shouldn't even exist.
Can you tell us more about why experts say that students with disabilities, even those who need significant support, should be taught in general education classrooms?
When Lee and I reached out to experts, we heard over and over that students should spend most of their time in general education classrooms. That's called inclusion, and research has generally found that students in inclusive settings are exposed to more rigorous instruction. The other benefit of inclusive education is that students learn a lot from each other. They can teach each other academics, and they can model social behavior.
Are there experts who support segregated schools? Is this even a debate?
Yeah, there is still some debate on this. Some researchers believe that what's important is not the educational setting students are in. It's the quality of instruction. Christian Cooper's parents, I think a lot of parents, honestly, sort of agree. They're focused on getting Christian a good education. But the Coopers say that even at a school that's dedicated to special education, Christian never got the services he needs to learn.
So if experts largely support inclusive education, why are students with disabilities segregated?
For me, it helps to think about this debate in the context of the history of education for students with disabilities. Until the 70s, many school systems actively excluded students with the most significant needs. Parents opened private schools to educate their children, including one in Porter County, actually. And then in 1975, Congress passed a law that required public schools to educate kids with disabilities. The private school in Porter County eventually evolved into the public special education school that Christian Cooper now attends. Advocates have been pushing for decades to integrate schools. But to do that, neighborhood public schools need to be prepared to educate students who need a lot of support. That means training all teachers to work with students with disabilities, and it means building a culture that prioritizes inclusion.
Where are Christian and his family now?
Christian is still at the segregated school in Porter County. Joe Cooper, his dad, made an unusual decision. He took leave from his job as a heavy equipment operator to work at his son's school. It's a big pay cut. As a special education teaching aide, he makes less than half as much. But Cooper says that the system feels so broken, he didn't know what else to do.
Thanks, Dylan.
For more information on this investigation and reporting on special education in Indiana, visit our website at wfyi.org/news. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. We bring you the headlines so you can be informed and up to date when you need it. WFYI News Now is a product of WFYI and reported by our Central Indiana, statewide, and regional news teams. It is produced by the following people who live in your community: Darian Benson, Kendall Antron, and me, Abriana Herron. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and find us wherever you get your podcasts to hear more stories about your community.